guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, 1966 Beetle, and it right now has the title officially of the most pain in the butt car I have to rack on this rack. I should have rolled the camera, but it was a bunch of jack action to get it on here due to the fact that it is a very, very low car. My Corvette's actually easier to rack up, and well, that's not saying much, it's low, but this is lower than that. Just on, I don't know, digressing, regressing. Why you're probably here watching the channel or this video. We have a backfire issue, apparently. I did hear it. It does definitely backfire. I'm not sure, because I heard it when it came in. I'm not sure if it's out the, you know, the mouth hole carburetors or out the, you know, the backside, you know, exhaust. So the owner said he has an excessive backfire, kind of, I don't know, throttle dependent. Sounds like on decel. Decel, I'm leaning more towards the exhaust. But with the caveat of this car apparently went to another mechanic 3 additional times trying to fix this issue. Same issue. So, well, now it's here. Hopefully, I can knock it out in one. I know a little bit of, I have a little idea what's going, you know, what has been done to the car, air quote. But with that said, let's just go back there and take a look, see what we got going on. Do the normal things. Engine's a 1776, dual carb, dual 40s, so I'm pretty familiar with the setup. Hopefully I can get it dialed in. It's nothing too crazy. Join me in the back. See what we got going on here, as I suspected. Normally if you have a standoff, automatically just get your hood prop because there's probably not a spring. With that said, let's put in said hood prop. Safety prop because, well, hopefully I don't have to take off this engine cover. Don't hit that. If you do, that's fine. All right, let's see. Yep. We can reconnect that, possibly. Put that down there, put that over there. All right, so first impression, it's a 1776, and I was told that these carbs were cleaned and say the jets have been gone through. Mind you, fairly recently. My first impressions, this thing has to run absolutely terrible if these carbs came off and were cleaned. Well, that gasket doesn't even look new on the bottom. I think I mentioned that to the owner. So we may have a fuel leak or an air leak on the carburetor. Sinking issue, revving issue. Let's see. Let's pull off the air filters. So I'll probably end up, we'll check sync, you know, do all the normal stuff, you know, the boring things. We'll check the sync, make sure that's all right. Nice car, German fuel line in it. I think well, this video would come out after my Carmen Ghia build, but I think I said this in well, I know I said this in my video because that video came out already. Dual carb, same setup, same quasi engine. And this is just, I don't know, myself being myself, and not so much a perfectionist, but I don't like to replace a bunch of stuff a lot of times. Fuel line routing on these things. All right, we got the German cloth hose. I don't know if you can tell, but it's the German, come here, light. German cloth, you know, all the way out of the pump, all the way down. I like hardline. Also, the pump feeders or the carburetor feeders, it's just a big, sorry about dad cam, it's just a big rubber line, goes around. I want to see how it's teed. I wonder if it's losing fuel because it's like pinched or something like that. Because caveat, because the gear's here, that's how I run my fuel line. Not saying I'm amazing or anything like that, but hard line, you can watch it in the video, but hard line, you know, from the tank to the pump, and then hard line, boop, boop, to the front of this carb. And the back of this carb feeds it. No fuel pinch, no nothing, and you know, just got that. So, could it be a starvation issue? Like I said, I know many people run the carbs or run carbs this way. I'm not, you know, doing anything, you know, that's out of the ordinary. I don't even know how the hell that's ran. But I will say, the owner did say the car ran fine, and then it sat for a bit and then didn't run fine. Why the velocity stacks? I still never understand. You'll see it on this one. I'm not even going to bother with that. I don't understand. And I'm not an engine master or anything like that. I'm not Freiberger or Boucher, Brule. Anyway, I'm not those guys. But what I'm getting at is, why are we running velocity stacks if we have an air filter? The air filter, well, the air filter lid doesn't go down any further than this. You're stopping them from doing its job. So, I don't know. I just don't like running them. My car don't have them. But that's neither there nor in this area. All right. Let's fire this thing up and see what we got going on. Schnell. We'll see how close it is. And a magic screwdriver. This up. See how close it is. And we'll just, you know, take it from there. Baby steps. Oh. Oh man, please start. I don't feel like crawling under this beam 1,000 times. You gonna idle? Thank you. That's reassuring, it just puked oil. Where the hell did that come from? Oh, axle tube. It's just the axle tube leaking. Sounds all right. Six-ish. A little lower. 7. 7. Wasn't bad, just a little out, but I'm here. And there's plenty of slop in this bar to where I don't have to unlink it to redo it. Found it! Exhaust. Going up. Exhaust leak, it looks like on that side. Shit! I don't know if I'll be able to get you in there. This exhaust clamp. Oh, I feel it. See that tape blowing? It's an exhaust leak out of that donut. At least that's what I'm leaning towards. Hold on. I don't know how well I'll be able to show it. Oh, I got a fan on. That's right out of this clamp. So yeah, exhaust leak. Sounds like it's missing. I think they're all hitting. They're all hitting. All right, let me get this thing down, get it back up and show you what I'm talking about now that it's all nice and hot. All right, guys. Damn it. Come on, foot. All right, guys. Now it's all nice and hot. Let's go back up. Actually, just for convenience, I'm going to blow these rear wheels off. So I don't have to keep sticking my head around it. Because I'm going to be pulling, are you a 19 or are you a 17? 19. Because I'm going to be pulling off both heater boxes. Where's my airline? Pranked myself. But there is definitely an exhaust leak. Whether that is the full extent of the issue, don't know yet. But it is coming out the exhaust. Usually, if you get the machine gun Kelly coming out an exhaust pipe, you have an exhaust leak. Those weren't that tight. That's fine. Notice, man, I could not drive like the stance wrap. I can't drive. I don't have tire money. That tire's a lot newer than this one. Let's go there. Just had a brain thought. Owner, I don't know if you noticed the paint. It's all nice and bubbly and blistery. It's not too bad. It's not too bad yet, but that apron is getting extremely hot. But he also said that this side of the bumper gets really hot. I don't feel it yet, which is weird for these exhausts. Where's my flashlight now? Where this exhaust is leaking? Is that, it's been in storage for a bit? I think that's just from here. Yeah, what I was trying to show you is this donut. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but if you see the flange right there, leading edge, it's not wrapped in. If I can get this to focus enough, you'll be able to see the carbon. Blowing out of it, but you can see how it's not sealed. And maybe, it's hard to do it, but the black side. That exhaust leak is blowing right on what would be that fender bracket mount. I'm curious if that's what's heating this thing up. Oh, zoom the other direction, please. I'm curious if that's just basically blowtorching it. Because I did make the comment, that's how the whole, in the ice, that's how the whole thing runs hot came up, is because, because opened the deck lid and it was like, wow, this is hot. What else we got? I mean, the pipes, they're close. Why don't you just trim that back? I mean, there's enough air gap that it shouldn't be this hot, I guess is what I'm getting at. But yeah, all right. First thing I'm going to do, just looking at cooling tins and whatnot. First thing I'm going to do is, I don't know why people put that over there, over that. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to blow this engine off. Give the owner a call and see exactly what I think the problem is currently. Also, what else has been done to this car? Because the more information I know, the easier it is for me to diagnose. Hearing the backfire automatically, go Australia mode and go right under, because it wasn't coming out the top. It had one, lack of better terms, queef out of this side, but I typically get them on cold starts, even on my car. So I don't attribute that to anything other than just cold and maybe not have the proper amount of fuel in it. With that said, let me give him a shout and see what he's what other information he can possibly give me on this vehicle. But I think we're moving in the right direction. 2 gaskets. Going to tune the carbs because, they're setting the sync. I'll check the fuel, make sure they're all thing, but all the cylinders are hitting. I'll check the timing, do all that stuff because, as you know, I only want to see this car once for something like this. If something else breaks, bring it in, but not because it's, the 3rd time trying to fix a backfire. And I don't know if that other shop did or not, but probably happily charging you every time. You gonna blow up? Good. All right, I'll be back with some other words. Yeah. And this update, talk to the owner about, findings. And, don't mind the fan noise. It's because it's idiot and it's hot. Turns out that these gaskets have been replaced apparently 2 times already. Well, no more on the rear because I'm going to be pulling the rear of the pipe. But I don't know. There's 2 different nuts on this one. Maybe that one was replaced. maybe. We know the driver passenger side isn't leaking. I might not even mess with that one and regret that decision later. But this driver's side, I know you don't know what I'm looking at. Hold on. Try to zoom you in again. And this could be from the leak. But we got a Tef nut under there, normal nut. But this ring that's supposed to sit in there, I'm not saying it is, you're probably zoomed in, I'm not saying that it is new or isn't new, but usually they're shiny when they're new. Also when they don't have an exhaust leak, because you can clearly see the ring right there, nice and shiny. So I would say at least the passenger side got replaced. Valve cover leak, that's good. Might go ahead and fix that, both sides. But what's that? Some weird wire. Oh, it's to hold up the fuel line. More German line. Happy to see a filter back here though. All right, let me let this cool down just a bit more. Don't read my Facebook. Rude people. One of my good friends thought he was getting a decent deal on some seats for his CTSV. He said that they were, $300 for 2 stock C5 seats. That they weren't. I know a thing or two about a thing of 3. 1, 5s. 2, cheap seats. Not that you care, but only 2 seats were offered in the 5. Or maybe you had a weird one. I don't know completely everything. But I know they weren't exact ones I can find on Amazon for $330. Just saying. But, all right. Well, you grab some gaskets and start ripping this thing apart and see if we can solve this. I'm also probably going to put red RTV around that side. Just seeing how that flange is all weird. I know, argue if you want. I don't want it to come back. Glue is glue, sparingly. Be right back. Before I start anything, because it's annoying me, I don't know how well I showed it. Where's that fuel? Where? This is dumb. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a wire that comes off the heater box, and it's holding up. Terrible filming angle. Come on. It's holding up the filter. You know how you eliminate that problem? By putting a wire to hold it up? You run that line out of metal. I don't know, crazy. Last time I checked, for all the purists out there, not saying the purists worked on it, shop that's worked on them forever. But last time I checked, those lines from the factory, you factory people, are made out of metal. So there's that. All right, let me grab some tools, get some gaskets, and start ripping this side apart. All right, let's start pulling this thing apart. I know you guys can't really see, but it's pretty straightforward. You got your heater box things. Loosen them, get them out of the way. So your fresh air tube, that's not connected on the other end. We already saw that, I didn't break it. And your heater box, spider's eviction. Rear heat thing, and I guess fuel filter support line. Dumb. Come on. You're gonna want to completely come out, aren't you? All All right, fresh air tube itself take out apparently, because why not? Ooh, the old double hose clamp. Nice. Ow, fingers. Wiggle, jiggle, jiggle, wiggle. Oop. Get off there. Clothes hanger, yeah, holding up the fuel line. Not the first time I've seen it, but I mean, I don't know, if you ran this line out of metal, it wouldn't be all over the place. Just saying. All right, exhaust for this part of it. Oh, that's not even really tight. That's fine. We're replacing these gaskets anyway. Where's the lube? Cool. Screwdriver, where'd you go? I went somewhere over there. It's fine. I have hardware. I think you guys can move until I have to unmove you. Remove you. Reposition. Yeah. You might be able to see all the exhaust blowout. Carbon. We'll replace that with a new one. This should just come out. It's warm. Where's something I could pry with and possibly blow this thing up or break it? Ah, stop it. It's like it's stuck in the front. No. Is that doubled? Oh, now that I have it off, you can really see how carbony it is. Where that clamp was. See all the exhaust on this ring? That's supposed to be silver. So yeah, it's been blowing out of this top corner. I don't know if you're able to see that the light balance, weight light mount, whatever. That is on there. Jiggle and wiggle of the Moore scale. Just need you to get off. Why? We'll hit the exhaust. Rubber mallet. Where the hell's my rubber mallet? I don't think that helped that much. I mean, it helped some. It's free from, oh, if you guys were yelling in the comments, feel free to keep. This is why the key reason we don't force things, because forcing becomes expensive. Remember to disconnect your heater box from your shroud. Now let's see. Hey! Just comes right the hell off. Ah, damn it, the heat's attached. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's warm still. Stay. Just stay there. Is it attached? Yep, sure is. I don't need to take it off. I can place it up there. All right, let's see if I can get a better view for you guys on this pipe. That flange, now that everything's pulled out, that flange is all wacky. But yeah, that's where it was blowing out of. This did not make a good seal. Maybe it was replaced. I don't know. It just wasn't replaced well. And what's the back gasket look like? I can't really tell if that's been done or not. But nothing looks like it was leaking out. Nothing looks like it was leaking out of that flange, but we'll replace that anyway. Just because I like it, and I like it nice, but I don't want to do it twice. I also want to get it off. All right. I just undid the heater. Forgot to turn you guys on. 8mm under control. Only reason I'm pulling the box, I don't need to, but only reason I'm pulling the box is because of that flange. I want to try to round it some more. It's all catty-wampy. So, oh yeah, and the reason I was looking, or what I was looking for earlier, was my burr bit in my, there it is. It's like I just had the damn thing. My burr bit to, you know, whap over the whole oval, the hole a little bit, so that these can just, you know, slide on. But yeah, I'm just gonna take some pliers, try to bend this flange a little better back. Maybe help it some. I don't know how the hell it got so bent this way. I mean, realistically, there's not like it's any pressure or anything on it. Unless they really screwed up putting this gasket on. Yeah, I'd like my gasket surface to be gasket surfacey. Again, also another reason I'm gonna put RTV on this. I don't want to, well, be in here again. I think I'll just, I'll just show you. Quick smear. Nothing crazy. Mainly it's for the reason of when it slides in there, I want it to do something. Also, oh, he's trying to walk and chew gum. Also, it will make sure that this seals. Anti-seize, what have you. I don't know if you've ever seen the meme of what is it, Kanye West, when he's all Tin Man-y. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Because if you ever get this stuff on you, it just goes everywhere. It doesn't matter how careful you are, it just sucks. You go there. That started. Damn it. Where'd you go? Probably on top of that tray. Yep. I like J-pipes because you can get the things. I'm also working with a hurt hand, which isn't making my life easier. Zippity doo dah. Zippity okay. All right. Well, those are on. Throw the fresh air tube back in. I'm gonna I'll leave that exposed right now. I think I have a spare tube I can put in, possibly, because that one's all screwed up. But yeah, should be hopefully fixed. Ain't doubly sure. New question, what the hell I do with my flashlight? Well, shit. My other one's dead. No, something. Oh, man. I gotta play Marco Flashlight-O. Let's see, I found my flashlight. It was on my toolbox. Not that you care. Let's see what happens. Ugh. Lug nuts, damn it. Sounds quieter. Pick these up before I kick them all over the damn place. Slight pop out of this one. Coughing. All right, let's dial these carbs in. Nothing noticeable. Still a little. It's like it's loading up. It has electronic. I wonder what kind of electronic it has in it. Ah, the good old donut. Hate these. You can tell she's been rubbing. All right. What are you? Are you just cheap? Like you're just cheap. Used donut. Old donut. We'll just stick that up there. Replace the donut, see what happens. Are you cutting through? You're slightly touching. Sucks, I don't have a really good place to prop it because I need that side. Let's fire this thing up again with the new donut. Oh, probably gonna replace the ignition just because. Damn it, lug nut. Oh, it would help if I put a cap and rotor in, right? Dumb. See if this does anything. Well, it should now that it has a cap and rotor. Oh, God. It's stuck. Damn it, lug nut. I'm wondering if it has a burnt valve. No, the other flashlight, because this one sucks. Cylinder 1. Cylinder 1. Cylinder 1. 4. Okay, 4, 3, 2. Good thing is this thing has access holes in the side. I might let this thing cool down, or I'm probably going to let this thing cool down. Check the plugs, because I'm not really getting the adjustments that I want out of these things. All right, those 8s. Yeah, something's going on with, well, this side. Yep. All right, I'm gonna pull off that inspection plate. Make sure the plug wire's on first. Where's my? But something's definitely, well, you can hear it, wrong. We're on. Let's give this a whirl. Put these up here so I can lose them. Those intakes are extremely hot. Carb fart, that's fine. Change on that cylinder. We have change on the back now. The one's yelling at me. All right, guys, here's where I'm at. I'm thinking I might have a burnt valve. But in the sake of I'm an idiot, I have dual 40s. I'm going to throw new carburetors on, knowing that's probably not going to fix the issue, but we're going to do it anyway. Because, hell, it might fix the issue. I don't know if maybe one of these like I say, these are apparently cleaned. So I don't know if we have something weird in the metering or whatnot. But I'll replace all the spark. We'll do the path of least resistance first. I'm going to replace all the plugs. I want to pull that one again, just to see if it's firing, because now I can tune it. We might have something going on with the other side as well. This is a split system, so just because the driver's side is popping doesn't mean it's actually the driver's side, because it goes into a collector and it's just whatever side's doing its thing. And for all I know, it could be the exhaust itself. That apron is excessively hot. Let me put that on before I lose it. But all right, yeah, I think in the morning or in the afternoon when I get back on this, we'll see what happens. But I also want to adjust the valves or check the valves, and can't do it hot. Guess that's where I'm at right now. Thought we had an easy one, and well, diagnostics happens. I would say it got better, but it didn't. I mean, slightly, but not really. I don't know, marginal improvement. But all right, join me with new plugs and we'll redo this. I might swap out the ignition, just swap out the ignition too, but the ignition should be fine. It's a new donut and it's picking up. Unless it's breaking down. Huh. Is the ignition coil related? Ohms. I got 1.5 ohms on this thing. 1.5 is a 6-volt coil. Shit, could it be the coil? Yeah, here, come here. You need a 3-3 coil. I don't have a kickstand. For at least any electronic that I know that's not like the Pertronic, you know, Super Duty, whatever the hell, which isn't what is in here. This coil is reading 1.5. The 6-volt coil is 1.5. U6. No, 12 volt, it says it right there. 12 volt coil is 3, this is a Bosch. Not that it matters, but I know this one's all right-ish. 12 volt coil. 3, stop. 3 ohms. To me, this is a bad coil. Bad coil for electronic ignition. This one should be 6 volt. Yeah. I labeled the bottom. $1.5. A little erroneous. Contacts are dirty, but stop doing things. 1.2. $1.2, 1.5. You see what I'm getting at. It's a low voltage. All these are mildly what I consider good. No 12 volt, no external required. This should be 3.3. I think my leads are screwed up. There we go, 3.3. Just has to tone out. That one had internal winding screw up. So 1.5, let's just double check it, just make sure it wasn't me. We might be running a bad coil. $1.5, dead nuts. All right, new plan of attack. I don't know if how long you watch this channel. I had a BMW 2002 series TI, IAW, whatever, 72. It was doing this. Turned out it was the ignition on that one. This is a bad combination. 1.5 plus the electronics that are in this. Like I said, this looks like a, I don't want to say it cheap because it probably is, cheap electronic ignition. That coil is bad. It's a green box, it's not labeled, I guarantee. Ooh. Do I have any green ones? Probably not. I rip those out of cars. Has a tone wheel. What are you? You're a Pertronics. I've seen the green ones before. I just don't know what the hell, if I even have one. All of carburetors. Thanks. You're Pertronics, aren't you? Yep. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have one of those anymore. Anywho's and ways. Plan is new coil, new electronics, and hopefully that fixes it. What are you? You're a black box. It's like it's a knockoff of what's in there. Almost exactly. It's a little smaller. But the wires, I guess what I'm getting at is the wires on the backside. I've always known them to be flat. Those are bulged out. I think it's cooked. I'll try to get you in there. It stands out to me like it's weird. Oh, I've been zoomed in this whole time? Nope. I don't know if you can tell, but see how that's all bulged out? I'm used to these being flush. All right, electronics coil, put them in. Hopefully that solves the issue. Having loose plug wires. So far nothing I've done has been bad. We found out we didn't have a running cylinder. We now have a running cylinder. What else? Exhaust leak. Fix the exhaust leak. Got to go to that. I think it's just like losing time and blowing up. So we'll throw a new ignition in it, throw a new coil in it because, like I said, those you have to have 3 ohms, three ohms, somewhere right around there. I like 3.3. If I run my electronics, anything below that, I consider it crap. That's why I have a wall of coils that don't ohm out correctly, except for the one which did, and that was due to the fact that that one breaks down when it gets hot. Yeah, I think that one broke. Yeah, that one broke down when it was hot. But all right, let me get a parts order in. Probably join me tomorrow. Swap some guts out, throw a coil in, hopefully solve this thing. All right, guys. New electronic ignition. I'm gonna throw this in. Brand new coil. Boop. I'm gonna throw this guy in. One thing I did find. Remember when I said I had a green one laying around? There we go. Green. Here, we'll go with the wire side. Just maybe show you what I was talking about better. See how this side is nice and straight? No bubble. Definitely defined. Going back, well, go with the flashlight that's not charged again. Great. It's gonna kill me. See how it's all bubbly? Right there, that bulge. It's definitely cooked. All right, let me dig out that coil, rip out the electronics, swap it all, and hopefully put my stuff I run in, and hopefully this is gonna sort this car. And I'll show you what I'm talking about more side-to-side comparison with that pickup on what I'm going on about with it being bulged. And it's really hard to see in the distributor, but just show you that it's not like the sleight of hand, like, oh, I said it was bad and it's not. Well, here's a bad one. Well, I don't even think it's bad. I think I just pull it out because I hate them. Anyway, let me do what I'm doing. That one's bad. Hopefully this is going to fix the backfire. Let me swap it real quick. It's not going to be anything major, but electronic ignition, simple. Just unplug this. The only problem, or the only question I'm going to have is my guts. My conversion kit doesn't fit every distributor. The kit that I use. So I'm hoping it's going to work with this distributor. Remember the old donut ring? Pull this guy out. Ow. There, I'll show you the old guts. quick. That big old bulge right there. Compared to, I lost the other one. Keep it in frame. That right there versus that one. Square, not square. Defined, not defined. Tumor, no tumor. So, all right, let me just swap this out. Save this, well, to show him in person, but he could watch YouTube. And then with his donut ring, again, I made the comment that this was hitting. That's why I originally threw in this donut. So, all right, let me get my other ignition, tear that open, and then join me throwing it into the car. Also, I never changed my battery from last night. That's good. Be right back. Scratch that. I'm going with a different plan, and I want to replace the coil because it's buried in the bowels. And of course, the screw is on the other freaking side. So hopefully this is just gonna cooperate. It looks like it has just 2 cheese heads put in it. What? Oh, jeez, why is it so tight? Mosquito! Shouldn't you guys be dead by now? If you watch this channel, you know I absolutely despise putting coils in the valley. And what I mean by valley, I'll just show you. Living down there, you know, because nothing I've learned in my many years of existence doing anything than one thing electrics love is heat. So let's put it in the hottest place on the top of an engine that we can find. Exhibit, throw it in there. Does this thing have a tack? No. Huh. Wonder why we got another wire to the coil. Negative side. Usually negative side's tack. That's the hot. Other screwdriver. Because that is the original coil mount. Sometimes it's either slotted or not slotted, so you got to take both out, and then getting that rear one in is a pain in the butt. Hold on. You guys thought airco was just blowing smoke up the old butt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you direct yourself to this, also use with external resistor. Yes, it says 12 volt also. Coils do not give a crap. They're on the ohm scale. Coils do not give a crap if it's 6 volt or 12 volt. This, by the ohmage, is a 6 volt coil. It will work in your 6 volt car and not cause damage. It will blow up your ignition system in your 12 volt car. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, just one more time. New ignition go here. Let's do that because I put new leads on the old doobly-doo. Got nice new leads on here because I stock parts because I buy cheap stuff that works. All right, 12 volt coil. Let's see, 6 volt coil. Right? No, that's, 6 volt coil. Yeah, I'll label the bottom of this. We'll do this experiment again. Water bottle. Let's go there. Science time with air cooled. 12 volt coil, bad coil. External resistor only. Stop. Untangle. They're new. I'm excited. Beep. Beep. Boop. 1.5. At least I have the same reading. 6-volt coil. Beep, boop. 1.5. Would you just look at that? Same reading, same coil. New coil. Boop. We'll call this the 12-volt coil, which is just an internally resisted coil. Boop. 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 3.6. That's good enough. That is way over what I can, like I said, my 3.3 average. So, these are, yeah. Same exact coil. They're whatever brand. Import direct. 903 coil, externally resisted. 905 coil. I don't know if you read, no external resistor required. Could you use, okay, other question. Could you use a 6-volt coil slash whatever, 1.5 ohm coil in your ignition system? Yep. You just follow what the thing says. Put an external resistor in. For anyone that don't know what that is, it's a ballast resistor. Shit. Old muscle cars run them. Hell, I have an old muscle car. Tour was air cooled. MSD coils, they're, say, a hot 6-volt. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that bad boy back there, whoop, right there, boop, boop, that's a ballast resistor. That goes to the MSD coil. If, whoop, hold on, I know you're getting the grand tour of absolutely everything. If I did not have that coil or that ballast resistor in line with my coil, well, guess what? Foof, smoked the points, because I'm still running points in that car, because I'm a madman. No, I didn't do an HEI conversion. All right, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Let me drop this coil in, swap it over, and drop in the electronics. Hopefully turn this key and fire it up. Anything else in here? Nope. Draw me in a minute. Let's light this pig off. Let's go down. I don't feel like, I'm not a rock cat. I don't feel like doing the high kicks. I'm on the locks. Because safety. Remember, I loosened that, so tighten that. Going down. All right. Fires up, let it warm up, let the electronics get hot, and well, if it's gonna work, it's not gonna backfire. If it's not gonna work, it'll do the same thing. Fire. There we go. Tap dancing? So none of the distributor caps dancing around. Okay. Why the hell are you dancing around now? You're bolted down correctly. Or what the hell over? Just did a little surfacing on this. See if that fixed it. That's why you look at stuff. All right, it's seated now. Well, no, immediately it isn't because the damn distributor cap would dance. Fire in the hole, round 2. Batters. All right, I'm gonna let this thing warm up and I'll be right back, and we'll hopefully with no backfires. Also, tune in that side again with everything working. All right, she's been running for a bit. Sounds like it's cooperating. Damn it! All right, let me ponder. I'll be right back. I muffled that tailpipe. Will maybe isolate a side. Well, it pops out the passenger side as well. So I can shift the backfire. Let me do a hot check of the valves. See if any are tight right now. Because that'd be the only thing. It's temperature controlled. It took longer this time for it to screw up. But it's better and still worse at the same time. I'll be back. All right, guys, she's warmed up. A little bit still. That's livable. That could just be the car or the exhaust. All right, let the engine idle. Last night, it was spitting, sputtering, popping, this, that, and the other thing. The thing was not happy at all. I got a couple pops. That could be me, well, forcing it to pop, you know, revving it up, putting too much fuel into the system and just getting that poof. Could still maybe have a cracked manifold, can't see past the heaters. But I will say it's night and day. I also, you probably can't see it. Check the timing while it was running. Timing was a little bit on I advanced it. Let's put it that way. I don't know if I get demonetized if I say what the correct term, but it did not go on the R direction. It went on a little bit of advanced direction. It's was set probably around 5. Now it's on, now I set it to 10. Usually I set these to 10. It's running a little higher on the advanced, but it's better. I'll take the few hits. The apron feels normal. Feels a little warm, but it's not as hot. Engine bay feels decent. Hot start. Well, that was a bad thing. Hot start. Here's where I'm at. Gonna take it on the road, see what it does under load. Make sure it doesn't do anything crazy. But it's not doing it here, and I was able to do it here before. It's way too late today because I got a late start because that's how I work. Gonna take it out, see what this thing can do. Hopefully it's fine. The problem right now is going to be because the owner knows there's a backfire. Your ears are always going to hear that backfire. This slight one might have always been there, but disregard it. Might have disregarded it, so on and so forth, because it's not as prevalent. Didn't sound like a machine gun going off. So I can't say, but to me, it could be a combination between the exhaust, the cam, the engine. It could actually have a burnt valve right now. And there's honestly maybe nothing I can do. I could pull a compression check, do the compression check, do a leak down check, so on and so forth. But it turns into, if it's drivable and livable, do you want to take the cheaper bill? Or do you want to keep spending more money on diag? Because at the end of the day, if the heads need to get replaced, the heads are going to need to get replaced. And while that's longer, this engine's not going to go anywhere because I can't just order really off-the-shelf heads for the most part. I mean, I can, but they're going to take a while because they're 1776. So these are a little more numbers. I got to pitch the owner, see what he thinks. But I'll put the wheels on it, and hopefully next scene you'll join me on the road for this one. This is a fun one. Coming from, like I said, another Volkswagen shop, guy, guru, what have you, physician. Bunch of stuff overlooked. Spark plug, not spark plugging. Electronic ignition exploded. Which makes sense on why it gets hot, it explodes. This, like I said, it's not doing it right now, so we'll see what it does on a road test, getting hot. What the hell else was wrong? Exhaust leak. And the thing is, could I have seen that electronic was blown up to begin with? Yeah, I probably could have. I could have changed it. Would it have solved the issue? Maybe, maybe not. But knowing there's a very obvious exhaust leak and knowing a lot of the times that's the cause of a backfire, that's where I went to first. There was no reason to look at anything else before I changed one thing. Because if I changed the electronics and it didn't fix the problem, well, guess what? I'm scratching my head. And I'd have to change the exhaust anyway. It's the lesser of two evils, basically. So now the system's hopefully good. We'll see what it does under load. Like I said, a D-cell pop does not faze me whatsoever. A cruise pop, what it was just doing here statically, that concerns me. What it's doing right now, not really too concerned about it, to be honest with you. So let me reach out to the owner, see if he's still awake because it's late. Have a little conversation with him and see where we're going, and I'll report back. Hello. Ooh, squishy. First time sitting in here. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a different video as far as my drive goes because, well, I'm driving it to the customer, which is, well, very rare for me to end up doing or wanting to do. Are these on? I know I have a radio and all, but I don't even know if these are on. I don't know how loud this car is going to be. Sunglasses. So yeah, we're going to have two possible outcomes with this drive. One, it's going to go smoothly, and my outro to this video will be also bringing a drinky, just in case we break down. Stay hydrated. And the outro to this video is going to be you know, an empty shop, or you're not going to ever see this, or you'll see this, but you're not going to see the outro with an empty shop. You'll see an outro with probably a car in it, because developments. All right, cold start. It does have a tack. I don't know how the hell I missed it the first time, but let me get this stuff programmed in and head on our way. It's probably about a 40-minute drive, I think is what, yeah, about 40 minutes. So join me in a minute. All right, guys, first off, let me just state, first gear is somewhere. Second, the front end is very bouncy. I don't know how much of a top speed run we're gonna do, mainly because it's not my car, but it's pretty bouncy. But in the 5 blocks we went, hasn't blown up yet. Cue up some music. Also, I apologize for any wind noise due to the fact that, well, it's not hot, but I like airflow. Not popping. Anywho, it's not popping, but it's just, I don't know, it feels weird. Not a race car.
like it. It's still doing it. It's on the D cell. It's like we're losing spark. Yeah, we're down a cylinder. It sounds like a Subaru. Definitely dropped a cylinder. All right. Got to figure out why. Oh, this is going fantastically. Why would we drop a cylinder? Wires? Wires wouldn't make sense though. But yeah, I'm definitely running on 3. You probably hear it. It sounds like a Subaru. I wonder what cylinder we lost. Drops the cylinder when it gets hot. I did check the valves. They were within spec. I don't know if I have blinkers. Has to be the carbs. But it doesn't make sense when it's warm. Puzzled. Yep, looks like we're holding on to this thing for a bit. Brake pedal seems like it wants to keep creeping down. That's good. Dropping a cylinder when hot. The ignition's new, not saying it's good. We've been down that road. But new ignition, the only thing would be carburetor. Like I said, I checked the valves checked out fine. But yeah, it just drops it. There, not hitting. That's a hard miss. Wire breaking, plug wire breaking down. Fuel? It's like I have an entire dead bank. I think we could be losing fuel. Because I'm idling right now, and if I get a self, RPMs are dropping, I'm in neutral. It was high when it was hot, or lean. Ooh, doesn't like a second downshift. Four cylinders again. I think we have a fuel issue. All right. Draw me back onto big cam. Not what I wanted to do. Well, we're back. That went terribly. All right. We're down. I think we're finally down to a fueling issue. It's either going to be the lines are collapsing or the carburetor's floats are not adjusted correctly. Because at idle, thing runs fine. Even when I was coasting, it came back down, and I can tell when the engine came back alive. But if you get on it, basically drain the flow, the bowls, you have issues. There's the popping. Yeah, we got a fuel flow issue. So it's either supply or the carb itself, float bowl not adjusted correctly, so on and so forth. But we are definitely losing. We're definitely fighting a fuel issue currently. Now I get to make the phone call saying you're not going to get your car. Outstanding. Puts a little crimp in my style, but. All right, join me on a big cam. We'll figure this thing out. If it's dual carbs, I'll get dual carbs. I'll just put new carbs on, do new lines, run it, what I like to say, the correct way, and hopefully solve this issue, because it definitely, it feels like it's struggling for gas. And the backfires come at the higher RPM when you really need it, and if that float bowl's down, or it can't supply it, we have problems. Yeah, join me in a minute.
Car is back on the rack. Talked to the owner after failed delivery, and well, my pride is hurt a little bit because I thought it was right and it's not. Unfortunately, well, I'm kind of doing a heads or tails bet with the owner. I said for an extra X amount of dollars, I'm replacing both your carburetors, and that should solve your issue. Also, I'm going to do the fuel line, stuff like that, because it feels like I'm dropping down on the driver's side. Caveat to that, flip it a coin bet. If it doesn't fix your issue, well, I'm only having you pay for parts. So every part that I was going to charge you for this, you just covered a tab and you just got free labor. Yep. I say this often. I'm a casino and the house usually wins. I'm hoping this is one time the house doesn't lose. So, with that said, I'm going to start flopping carbs. Take one off, put one on, so and so forth. Really nothing fancy. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why didn't I start with this? Or why didn't I drive the car first? Well, here's the thing. You have a backfire, and if you know you have a backfire, typically, like I said, a good percentage of the time, it's because of exhaust leak. Well, there's a glaring exhaust leak. So, didn't bother. Fixed the exhaust leak. Made it sound a little bit better. Still had a pop. Then, what did we do? Find out that cylinder number 3 was not firing. So, we get cylinder 3 to start fire because, well, spark plugs aren't tight. Electrode tops. Cool. Knock that one out. Check that box. Now we're still having issues when the car warms up. It's acting funny. Well, usually when it's temperature related. It's either going to be valves. Valves were fine. Or an ignition component. We noticed that the ignition swole and it's running the wrong coil. Replace those. The pop was pretty much almost gone except for decel. My cars, they will have a pop on decel. It's just the nature of like either the jetting. I don't know what jets are in these. So it's the nature of jetting, overload, so on and so forth. Again, wasn't concerned. Wasn't concerned enough that I agreed to take this car out thinking it was done for a test drive. Then, and only then, did I realize we're losing it due to what I'm assuming is fuel. Now, 2 reasons on that. One, could be the pump. Pump could be dying. 2, could be a carburetor. Like I said, so far this car, and it's not justifying what I'm doing because everything I did needed to be fixed anyway. It's just not fixed correctly yet. Everything I've been doing is stuff that where this car was at apparently was already fixed. So one thing I haven't touched yet, if process of elimination's going, that has been fixed with this other shop, and it probably broken, is going to be the fuel system. So I'm going to take off, and also I've mentioned this many times in my videos, taking off these HPMXs, these MP carbs, and they're just going with cheap China's. Exact same carbs I just put on my my Gia, my 2180, or not 2180, my 1905. I know they work. I know they're well. They're whatever knockoffs. They're IDAs, IDFs. Excuse me. So we'll just knock that out and call it good. Hopefully. Oh, and also because I'm going to do the right thing, I'm going to run all hardline like I typically do with the loops and everything else and all the fanciness, just to get a lot of this junk out of here. I think we're losing this side. And it's not, like I said, these are merged headers, so if you got a backfire on the driver's side, doesn't necessarily mean it's the driver's side. It could be the passenger side, just shooting that way. But it does feel like, ear note, I'm dropping on the driver. And what I think might be happening. I don't know how old the fuel lines are, any of that. But what I think might be happening, because it's on a warm condition, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that fuel line, I think I made a comment of it. I think it might be getting hot and restricting fuel flow. Because that's a pretty rough turn, in my opinion. So, like I said, I'm just gonna start, and especially on the other side too, but I'm just gonna start, grip and rip it. If you want to know how to throw on 40s, basically what I'm doing, taking something off, actually a little more in depth, watching my Gia build. We have the same carbs on the Carmen Gia. So, like I said, I'm just going to take them off, put them on. If any developments happen, definitely going to let you guys know about, cue the camera back on, so on and so forth, but it's just a 1-for-1 swap. 4 bolts, some linkage, pop everything off, 4 bolts, some linkage, some gaskets, put it back on, and then I'm just going to make fuel lines, make it look, like I said, hopefully sterile or instead of all this banana lines all over the place. Because, like I said, I don't know how old the lines are. I don't know if they're collapsing or what. Also, I don't know if the guy who cleaned the carbs, obviously they're not clean, messed up a float setting or something like that. It's cheaper for me to throw 2 carbs on, give these back to the owner, than it is me personally rebuilding these. Especially if I find out something's missing, then we have a problem. So, clean slate, my tunes, so on and so forth. One thing I am curious about, because I think I said this, it is a 1776 engine. I've never checked the jets in this thing. They hopefully, well, at least, I'm just going to check the mains. Wow, that is excessively tight. Not that it matters. That is like excessive tight. Come on. Who the hell tightened this down? The Hulk? Look, I'm not a strong man, but this is dumb. You can hear the squeaking. Eek, eek. Ow. Small screwdriver. maybe I could just tickle it off. Probably not. Too long of a smaller screwdriver. And we'll clear the horn. Nope, I think that was my best bet. Should have kept with it. What's that one? Nope, still nope. All right. Should start with the back one. Come on. FYI, I'm probably going to keep, because this is the way this car is tuned, I may keep these stacks on the new carbs. But if you know me, probably not. Because I think they're stupid. Just like whoever put these damn hats or jet holders in. Are you out? You're at least turning now. I think you're out. All right. Like I said, 1776 and wanted a 135 or, well, hopefully 135 smaller. Nothing bigger than a 135, I guess is what I'm getting at. And judging by the, this is dumb. And judging by the plugs, it looks like it's probably jetted roughly correctly. Yep. But I tell you, separates, or separated. This damn thing was never cleaned out. Like this has never been cleaned out. If it has been, the owner said, like I said, the car was cleaned, or at least the jets were cleaned. If they were, I guarantee these carbs are shit, or shot, excuse me. I don't know if you see all the crap that's building up, or the dirt that's there. It's hard to get you in places. Whoop. But, yeah, all right, let me get these things off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But these, yeah, the jet fell off. I can't tell you. I'll tell you what everything is because I'm just going to swap jets. I will actually clean them and swap them. But, yeah, I'm calling BS on a lot of this stuff. Either that or all the crap that was there that wasn't cleaned off. You know, maybe the person missed it, you know, like on the whole top of the carb. Fell down and just was blocking a jet passage now. All right, join me for more developments. I should pull off one velocity stack. Should have just started with that, but, well, I didn't. I'll get this hardware real quick so I don't lose it or drop it down the engine because that'd be bad. Actually, it wouldn't be that terrible. Sounds funny, but as long as the butterflies stay shut, really can't go anywhere. We're removing the carburetor. One washer, I saw the other one. Click, other washer. Dumb velocity stacks. All right, this is what I was trying to show. Come here, light. Now that we have more room. Tilt the screen, maybe I can see. All right, jet or top. You're telling me you cleaned this? I mean, it's all, come here, camera. It's all in there. And hell, it's around, let me see if I can get a better zoom in on that. It's around this other jet or other tube. See all the crusties around there? Where's that screwdriver? Look at all that. You're telling me that these have been out? No freaking way. I wish I said I could. Whoa, hello, face. It's good, but I wish I could say I staged that, but you can tell that that's been there for a while. This shit has never been apart. I've said this in many of my videos that I absolutely, and judging on how I started this one, I freaking, to a fault, I stand by my stuff. So much so that I'm willing to bet basically like a parts bill on a labor bill. Because at that point, I don't feel you should pay for my services if I didn't fix your problem. Also, it, sounds stupid, but, well, if you didn't pay, say, we'll just say hypothetically $1,200, $1,500, whatever it would be, and I just bet you the parts price. Now, say hypothetically the parts price is $600 on a, say, simple math. Say we have a $1,600 bill, and your parts price is $600. And I bet you that if I didn't get it fixed for, say, the $1,600, you would just owe me the $600 in parts. That does one of two things. One, hopefully you're not mad at me because you just paid for parts and I screwed up all the labor. And two, that also gives you another $1,000 to play with. Just saying. Whether you want to pay me or not, I don't care about that. I'm just saying you still have an extra $1,000 in your pocket that you wouldn't have had otherwise. I don't know, but okay, this is my voice because I don't know how this guy speaks. I know of him. I'm not trying to badmouth somebody, even though I am. At this point, I don't care. You clearly didn't do what you were paid for. I have so much more profanity I want to say. I mean, the whole carb base is still, it doesn't help my hands dirty. The whole carb base is dirty. This gasket's old. This guy didn't do shit. Again, pardon my French, but I'm pissed. There's a couple mechanics in town that work on air-cooled vehicles. And some of them are good, some of them are bad. Then you have some of them that are supposedly good, and well, you get crap like this. The amount of dirt and rust that's impregnated into this thing, you probably won't be able to pick it up, but that's not even a new hat gasket. Not saying that this needs to be replaced, it's just for under the carburetor base. But, well, under the gasket's dirty. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a clean freak by any means. I mean, if you watch this channel long enough, you would know that. But damn it, I take pride in what I do. God. That's what was sitting on the carburetor. We know that's never been changed, ever. This guy get it running and just say, "Oh, yeah, it's perfect. It's mint. It's the best carburetor and best cars ever." Baby, oh, it doesn't work right. Oh, let me fix that for you. Okay, it's the best thing ever. Pay me again. Hey, it still doesn't work right. Oh, well, sorry. Oh, it's the best thing and it's the best thing ever. Pay me. 3 freaking times. Yeah, that is, like I said, that's dumb. This damn shit has never been off. And like I said, if you did take this damn thing out, if you did take it out, you didn't clean it, blow it, bare minimum it, and you put those damn things back in because that's where your main jets are. And notice, all vital, we have a problem on mains. So let's hypothetically give this guy the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, you did clean them. You cleaned them out. You did what you said you were supposed to freaking do. And then you put that shit back in. Or put that back into there. Don't you think the mains are going to be clogged again? I mean, I'm not a rocket surgeon. But by processes of mental acuity and thinking, the answer is yes. For this reason, don't tell me I did something and I didn't. Because you may not see absolutely every minute of every clip or everything I do. But like I said, there is a B rule. Just like one time I got called out if I tightened the distributor clamp down. Dude, these are like off the Titanic. That comment annoyed me enough, and the person who made that comment knows who you are, annoyed me enough that I came out to here, my shop, at about 1:30 in the morning to find the footage of me tightening down the distributor clamp. And guess what? I did. But it ate at me because it wasn't in the video, and I couldn't honestly remember that I did it or not. Anyways, back to this. Well, same story. Off the Titanic. Those things haven't been taken off or cleaned. Look at all that crap. And it all went right down there. All right. At least got the emulsion tube. The emulsion tube and the jet, even though the jet wants to pull out. $130. I'm good with that. It's not too fat, it's not too thin. It's just right. All right, like I said, enough of a rant. Let me get back to taking this damn thing apart. Why are we? Oh, this stupid freaking airbox. First carburetor. Out. This is what I was saying. If someone pulled this stuff apart and said they cleaned it, they should be ashamed of themselves. Where's my pick? I want to get that main jet out. Set that one to the side. The other one's going to be the same story. I mean, these gaskets were either reused or these carbs have never been off because they're like hermetically sealed on here. I can tell you by how tight the nuts were. Most likely, see, I could just throw them on the floor because I got new ones. Yeah, by how tight those nuts were, I think someone was trying to fix a vacuum leak, thinking they might have goofed. When it wasn't that, it was everything else that you did or said that you did. Yeah, this gasket's never been off. I can't even get the damn thing off. At least the first one sort of cooperated. Holy crap. All right, let's start this. Got my little water bottle. You might be able to see. I even put a borescope down 4, 3, what have you. Got to go up. Just to see if I saw anything. It looked fine. So I'm hoping this whole time it's something junky with the carb. Yeah, it took me way longer because, well, I run stuff the way I run stuff. So instead of being a simple maybe hour to take something apart and put it back together, it escalated quite quickly. All right, let's see what happens. The one good sign, and why I don't think it's like a, how do I put this, cooling down the starter. The one good thing, and why I don't think it's a, like say a weak cylinder or something like that, and we're fighting a carb issue, is because it doesn't have a gallop. All cylinders sound like they're hitting the same, you know, cadence, or it doesn't have a cadence. It's like it's not like it's not, or you know, what have you. So sounds like we're even across the board. Want to give it a minute for it to pick up fuel and run the loop. All right, we got fuel in that one. Obviously, we should have fuel in this one. Yep. Everything is just base timed. About six. 5. 5. One pop. And the pump was that side. All right, I think I want to turn this off, not you off. Look nuts, I dropped my nuts. All righty. All 4 cylinders are hitting. Carburetors. Yeah. Well, no more because I was excited the last time. But now I know I have 4 cylinders. I shut fuel to 1 or 4. Jeez. Shut fuel off while I was running weird. Shut the fuel off, the air fuel screw off to cylinder 4. That's why I started only running like weird on 2. And then I was able to turn 3 on by manipulating the fuel screws. So once I had 3 kicking, I knew I could turn 4 back on because it was a reliable cylinder. I just wanted to make sure I had number 3 working before, you know, I jumped to any conclusions thinking that it was working or not in my spray test. Oh yeah, she's hot. You can hear it. You can hear the cylinders. They're happy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. we got 4 cylinders. I got leaky valve covers. I'll probably change out the valve covers before I take it out to for a test drive. I meant to do it in the last one. I actually didn't. They're not leaking that bad. But you know, I'm fully invested in this at this point. Might as well do everything. I'm not getting paid anymore because I'm a dumb. Oh, such sign of relief. All right, I think the plan is tomorrow. I might take it out later today. It's running on 4. I have to do the valve covers, valve cover gaskets. Obviously, I want to check the valves one more time. But I think depending on how all that works, I got to make a few store runs. Not that it matters to you. Next scene, you'll see just in the car. We'll see if we solved it because I got to get the Gia back on the rack because you probably, if you've been watching the series on that car, trying to make it to a car show September 6th here in Louisville. Don't know when this episode is coming out, but I have, I'll show you my calendar. Boop. It's currently the 30th. Don't look at people. It's currently the 30th. It has to be at the show next weekend. So that leaves me today, tomorrow, and, well, Monday, really, to get it knocked out. I'm not that far in it. I know we're segueing away from this thing, but I know I'm not that far. The engine runs, never driven it, but it runs. I need to put seats in. They're sitting over there. I don't know if you can see them. I got to throw them in, and a bunch of wiring. Technically, I still got to bounce the wheels, but we'll see how it drives without that. Technically, I just need to throw some seats in the car and drive it. But I have a bunch of other stuff because I can't leave things alone that need to work. And it's all wiring related. Why would I save that to the last? I don't know either. But, all right, I got to do some runs, let this thing cool down, I'll do some valve covers. But, yeah, it's, oh, baby, Jesus. Be good to me tomorrow or whenever I drive you. I mean, I can't get much better than that. I keep trying. I've been to find all 5. Stay in this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still on lift. You're the best one out of them all. All right, I'll be back, hopefully for the test drive video and not the developments happen. Whew.
All right, guys, it is the next day. Cars, well, obviously pushed back, and we're going to take it out for a drive. This is not going to be a take it for delivery because the owner's out of town, so he's going to end up coming to pick this car up. If it's okay. I hope it's okay. I have, like I said, I have a lot of dollars riding on the okayness of this. But I mean, if you, I don't know how to put it. I'll know immediately if it's okay or not because I didn't even make it out of the town. Probably made it to first street light, second street light before it started acting up with fuel cut and just not being happy. So I ran this thing consistently, give or take on and off last night, just making sure 3 was hanging in there. 3 kept firing. The caveat with doing that, I also could have fouled out that cylinder, letting it run, which it shouldn't have. But anyway, let's get this on the road, see what happens. First morning cold start. Sounds like it has all the cylinders. All right, let me get everything opened up and join me on the road. All right, guys. Let's see what happens. We made it out of the shop. It's still idling. Finding first gear is weird because if you go too far over on the shifter, it binds. There's that. She's idling. I had a slight poop come out of it, but cold, I guess. I'm just going with that. Let's put some miles on this thing. Like I said, when I give something back, I want to make sure, obviously, you, customer, what have you, are getting the best possible thing I can. And even though I have a stupid bet on this car, I think we're good. Oh yeah, I think we're okay so far. This light I'm coming up to right now, there was a silver Chevy, we're gonna say. I don't know if it was like Cavalier or Cobalt or something like that. I think it was a Chevy anyway. Maybe it was Pontiac. I don't know. Do those exist anymore on the road in the wild? But anyway, remember taking off from it. Yeah, this shifter. Remember taking off and it just didn't have it. That's where everything started happening. I'm running basically the same route I ran to duplicate the and leaving this light, hit this light again. Trying to take off was just not having it. It was pop, 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 and then I had to coast it in, kind of ease on it, not to do the explodies. So I guess, like I said, I'm running about the same route. I'm not gonna, end up aiming towards where, like going in the same direction, but same mileage I'm putting on, plus some. Loading it up some, third gear, doing about 35. Car's very bouncy. D-cell, no pop. I don't think this thing has shocks on the front. Yeah, third gear. Fine. I was already having uh-ohs at this point. All right. Third gear, pull. Downshift is okay. I gotta remember I'm not in a sports car. I'm in a narrow beam slammed hand scraper. So driving style's a little different. This reverse lockout doesn't work correctly. Third downshift, just dieseling the engine. No backfires. Oh, train tracks. Can I find second and not reverse? That's fourth. Second. once again, I'm going to say it. The house won. And it seems a little conceited and cocky, but when it works, it works. I was trying to make it pop under there, pull into my favorite breakdown spot. Hey, there's people here. Check for leaks, do the normal thing. Again, best thing about an old car, everyone thinks you're broken down if you're just pulled over. Looks like a train's coming, so I gotta spin around anyway. This car in the city sucks. It's very bouncy. But what I was saying is, give them a call because it's still early. And tell them, hey, come get your car. D-cell backfire. 2 pops, not even gonna mess with it. That was what I was trying to do. Make sure I still have a pop, still on this side. This side is, I don't care how slow I go. I got no shocks. I wanted to make sure that that side does still have an issue. What it is, I don't know. I borescoped it, so on and so forth. But it seems like that side likes to run hot. But with that said, it's running. We have all our cylinders. I'm curious what the apron temperature is. Short shifting it, just running it through. You know, I'll be honest, I felt only reason I took on doing the bet that I did was, I think I've said this, I know I'm not cheap. I know this. But you're going to get a car when you get it back from me. That's correct, first and foremost. Can I work with, whoa, where are you going? Can I work with you on labor? Of course. But one thing I did not want to do was let this car go on as a fail. Good. I have to remember I'm driving on, I think, 135 skinnies on the front and hellaciously cambered in the back. This car was not designed to, well, do anything other than go straight. Literally, it wasn't even designed to stop. Those 135s are going to complain about things. Jeez. Sometimes, like I said, things just work out. But what I was getting at is, I did not want to let this car go on as a fail, knowing that everything I did was correct, or it needed to be done anyway. And then you call, owner or whoever, saying, hey, it's going to be X amount more dollars. you don't want to hear it. So, like I said, I just basically did the, hey, it's going to be X amount of dollars, but parts, if I'm wrong, or you pay me, give or take less labor, if I'm right. So you have two options at that point. It's basically the push for you to say yes to get your car back correctly. Because at the end of the day, it still had the pop. He would have had to have picked it up and it would have left because he couldn't afford or want to have, you know, more money thrown into it. As far as like, oh, well, you said it was this and it wasn't this and this and it wasn't this and this and it wasn't this kind of thing. Sounds like your parts throwing. I say this in all my videos. I don't just throw parts at problems. I diagnose issues and change parts accordingly. Huge difference between starting with it, you know, if I threw, like I said, if I threw carburetors on this thing and it fixed the misfire, or if it didn't, well, guess what? I'm going to be doing everything I was doing in reverse. All right, join me on a big cam. Close this bad boy out. All right, guys. Ran good. I flogged it a little bit. Was mean to it. Talked nicely. And, well, I had one little pops on the D-cell. Completely fine. But as far as flogging this thing, I think it's fine. Need a little air. But anyway, let me close this thing out. Ran, drove. I wish it wasn't so bouncy, and I wish I had real tires on the front. Because I do want to put, anytime I get a Volkswagen that has the potential of going faster than it should, I want to exploit those characteristics. Unfortunately, when you're limited on friction, 135s or whatever these are, maybe 145s, in the front, narrow beam, no suspension, you're doing this the entire time, you really don't drive this car sprightly, I guess is what I'm getting at. But with that said, it does drive fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the nature of the beast of when you start lowering and shifting geometry of stuff and things. That made no sense. But car, like I said, car's good. It runs, it drives, it stops within reason. I guess what I'm getting at. Don't be too crazy. What else? Yeah, gonna call the owner. Tell him, you know, again, a house of one. Sorry. And yeah, get this thing out of here. So, with that said, join me in a big camp so I can wrap this one up. This one was, not gonna lie, this one was a struggle for me. Having so much wrong with it and, you know, all at the same time. I guess is what I'm getting at. I'll be back. All right, guys, closing out the video on a 66. This thing fought me. And I mean capitalized, fought me. It runs and drives. I dogged the, you know, ever living whatever I could do out of it. I had a D-cell pop, nothing I'm concerned about. And it needs to warm up for everything to, I guess, homologize or homogenate, to be happy, I guess is what I'm getting at. But one D-cell pop, everything else, it's been fine. Owner's coming to get it. I mean, there was so much wrong with this car that I started with the simplest fix, which was wrong anyway, exhaust leak. Then, you know, escalated from there. We had a number 3 cylinder that wasn't firing. Turns out that the carbs were cleaned. They were not. Ended up putting carbs on. Notice I did not go immediately to throwing spark plugs and wires in the thing. Number one, well, I didn't think there was a problem with them. I also owned them. I didn't show that, or I don't think I showed that. Usually, if you look, you don't see lightning all over the place. They're typically good wires. Also, when I had them off, checking compression and all that stuff for 3, I did ohm it, put my voltmeter on there, and it, you know, they made continuity. So I knew we had good wires.
Could they be breaking down? Could they use new ones? Possibly, in the future. But as of right now, it's fine. All 4 cylinders are working. But yeah, 6-volt coil, blowing up electronic ignition, the bad carbs that were cleaned. It fought me. Everything I thought I was doing to win, well, turns out it wasn't a win. But with that said, digressing from my story and regressing to capping this thing off, the car's done. Owner's going to pick it up. He can enjoy this thing. This is his fun toy. He wanted it as a fun toy, so he can now enjoy it. But anywho, if you like this episode, however it came out, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you do. I promise you we will chit-chat. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully, see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.